Hello, you're watching IndianExpress.com. The monsoon session of the Parliament is just around the corner. And as you know, the last time, both in the winter session and in the budget session, this government failed to pass the GST bill. This time, however, they are pulling out all stops to make sure that the bill sails through. To discuss the developments, we have with us my colleague, P. Vaidyanathan Iyer. Hello. Hi. So, we know for a fact that today there have been meetings. There has been a meeting with Mr. Jaitley and Anant Kumar, and they've met Ghulam Nabi Azad and Anand Sharma. What has happened? What are the points that have been discussed in this meeting?
So I think this is after a long gap that the government has really reached out to the opposition and the principal opposition, because Congress is the only party which is opposing GST, seen as the only party opposing GST, because in the last empowered committee of state finance ministers meeting, almost all states, including the left in Kerala, kind of said that GST is critical to them as well. So the Congress remains the last bastion, so to say, for the government to cover. So today's meeting, it lasted about 40 minutes. The government, which is Arun Jaitley, the finance minister, and the parliamentary affairs minister, Anant Kumar, both literally reached out. They went to Ghulam Nabi Azad's office in parliament, where Anand Sharma was also there. So they had a 40-45 minute meeting discussing their stated positions on GST. Of course, I think they did talk about, I would assume that they did talk about whether there have been any movements from their stated position so far also. So that would be give and take, so that there is scope for give and take. And sources tell me that this is just one meeting, and there could be one more meeting on Tuesday, and there could be more meetings. So they emphasized on the plural that there might be more than one meeting
during the session.
Yeah.
Okay. So earlier Prime Minister Modi had reached out to Sonia Gandhi and Manmohan Singh, and we remember that there were 3 points that were raised then, the sticking points. Do they still exist? Have they been taken care of? And are there other disagreements?
So, when we say that earlier the Prime Minister did reach out to the Congress, there's a very subtle political difference in the sense, earlier the former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh and Sonia Gandhi were called to the Prime Minister's residence. So there is a difference where this time the government goes out to Azad's room. So there is a slight difference in terms of the reaching out effort. The sticking points remain the same, but now, as the Indian Express reported a few days back, that there seems to be some thaw in the sense that they are saying the most important sticking point was whether we should mention the goods and services tax rate in the constitution itself. Okay. So that sticking point, it seems that the Congress is amenable to talk about it. They haven't said what exactly they want, but they said let the government come and tell us what options they can present to us.
Also, I think there's an all-party meeting that is scheduled for this Sunday. There are also other back-channel parlays that have been going on.
Yeah.
Apart from that, if the government, if they miss this deadline, because they've missed several in the past, what are the repercussions? What's the plan B that they would be looking at?
See, I think we are at a very critical juncture, I would venture to say that, because the constitutional amendment is one step. Then there is a model GST law which all states have to enact in their own legislatures. So all that will take time, and after that comes the more onerous task of mapping of rates for various sectors across industries. At what rate would the center tax particular services and goods, and what rate the states would tax those services and goods. So that is a phenomenal and humongous effort which will take about a year or so. So to my mind, if they miss the deadline in this session, and if say they are unable to set say April 1, 2017 as the date for putting in place the goods and services tax regime, then we are looking at a time which is next financial year, that is 2000. If you miss 2016-17, then you're looking at 2017-18, which becomes very politically a problem for the government, because GST in the first year is always a slightly disruptive mechanism, because it requires some time to smoothen out. And if elections are there in 2019, no government would want a disruptive tax regime in the first year or just a year ahead of elections. So I think then we are looking at a very uncertain future for GST.
Thank you for those inputs, Vaidi. Stay tuned to IndianExpress.com for other news videos.